Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fitriyani and my last digit student number is 336. Talk about the differences US foreign policy toward China through Barack Obama to Donald Trump's era. So here we will begin. So for the first, before we going to our main discuss about the differences between two, I like to tell you about the relationship between the US and also the China first briefly. So for the first is the relationship between the America and also China is as the partnership, and also they consider to be a potential enemy as in the economic fields and in the other. So um, America and China was the country that had a truly a large economic growth in this era, from the to 2070. And also the previously relation between the two countries were stable, and there were open conflict too, and then yeah, stable and unstable too. For now on, as the China is the provider as foreign loan to the United States, and the two country and also had the some territorial issue, especially in the South China Sea. There is the next, the relationship between the China and United States has been signed in the agreement they call it one China policy. In this agreement, United States has the Aragonese and the Barack Obama tend to want a more dynamic diplomatic relationship between U.S. and China. Um, but it difference and also changed when it turned to be Donald Trump's era, which he want to be the end of one China policy, and the China and also U.S. policy. So that's why our aim to writing this paper and also make this video is to analyze and the differences and the similarities in the policy from Barack Obama and Donald Trump regarding how the relationship between the United States and China. So before that, I'll explain to you about the China and the liberalism in the United States. Yeah, the United States is the main kiblah for liberalism itself. So the end of the history declared that the future of economy and political liberalism and the United States is the top of the leadership of liberal internationalism, isn't it? So, and now America is the only country that has changed from the bipolars during the Cold War to be unipolars moment in the region, while China itself is still considered as the communist country. So time went on, and the communists had embraced the United States by the principle of Sino-America, opened the door to be the members of China in the WTO, and was finally founded in 2001. Finally, China also joined the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation Organization in 1991. So in the period before of the Obama administration, there were instances where involved came under the watchful eye of the other branch of government in February. The document of the views published a report dubbed the new initiative, in which statement U.S. bilateral alliance will pursue the new opportunities presented by bilateral security dialogue and maintains U.S. So this is about the China and liberalism in the United States. So the next also, I'll explain first before the engagement in the new era. So millennium has just been discovered as well. A few challenges that aren't applicable to the United States of America, which will change the dynamic of the Asia Pacific region. They will not occur during the current commencement, which will be accompanied by the note that will lead to the Sino-American relationship via involvement. Um, this is the some brief explanation about the relationship and the China and also US itself. So after this, we'll explain by our friend about how the dynamic and also how the differences between the policy toward U.S. foreign policy toward China from Barack Obama era to the Donald Trump's era. Here we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Ijriana. My student number is 2019-05-10-347. In here, I will explain about the relation between US and China under the Trump government. Trump rejected TPP or Trans-Pacific Partnership and choose bilateral treaty. Why? Because Trump always using America first as the slogan. That is put US as the priority in every relation that must give benefit to US. That's why Trump always choose bilateral than a multilateral relation, with purpose promoting American industry, protect American workers, and raise American wages. The trade war between US and China is also provoked by Trump. Since 8 March 2018, he raised price of China 25% for steel and 10% for aluminum import duty, previously free for Mexico and Canada. And then China do something as the revenge. Since then, Trump always increase the tax and increase the price of import goods from China to decrease the number of consumption, and then China do the same thing as a revenge. Not just that, but US also forbid China to buy telecommunication component for ZTE in 7 years, the effect to decreasing the price of share until 40%, and then close the sale of the share for 2 months. The relation between US and China becoming worse during the pandemic because Trump keep blaming China and said China must take responsibility for this pandemic. Also because Huawei, that Trump claimed a cyber terrorism issue and some application that Trump said from China as a place for stealing information. Trump also threatened to close down China consulate that located in US. This issue provoked China to do something, that is fired some representative from US. Trump also fired some journalists from China media, same thing China do as revenge.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adindra Tiwaning Tias with student number 2019-05-10-240. When I explain about the relation between United States and China under President Obama. In November 2009 speech in Tokyo, Barack Obama, calling himself as America's first Pacific president, argued that the fortune of America and the Asia Pacific have become more closely linked than ever before. His speech proclaimed that the United States looked to strengthen old alliances and build new partnerships in the Asia Pacific. On the topic of regional multilateral organization, Obama signified an intention to improve upon the United States' currently disengaged relationship. As an Asia-Pacific nation, the United States expects to be involved in the discussion that shape the future of this region, and to participate fully in appropriate organizations as they establish and evolve. The framework of foreign policy of the Obama administration toward China was based on engagement, a welcoming approach to China's emergence, influence, and legitimate expanded role. For the U.S. to be able to shape the Asia-Pacific, further, the Obama administration senior director for Asia in the National Security Council suggests developing effective political and security partnerships with other emerging and important actors, including Indonesia, India, and Vietnam, and to participate and lead in the most important multilateral organizations in the region, including ASEAN. In 2011, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton published an article with detailed pivot toward an Asia-Pacific, with the lofty title America Pacific Century, guided by overarching goals of continuing engagement in America-based interests. Clinton elaborated 6 key lines of action, along with pivot policy work process. 1. Strengthening bilateral security alliances. 2. Deepening our working relationship with emerging power, including with China. 3. Engaging with regional multilateral institutions. 4. Expanding trade and investment. 5. Forging a broad-based military presence. And 6. Advancing democracy and human rights. The Obama administration sought to restrict China's ability to continue pursuing its own course. Third, increased United States military presence in the region hints at deterrence. No element of the Asia-Pacific reorientation policy better illustrates that the departure from engagement with China was actually going on the United States promotion of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP. The purpose of the TPP is to bring another economic from across the Pacific, developed and developing alike, into a single trade community with the ultimate goal of bringing about a free trade area of the Asia-Pacific. But from the onset, China was never intended to be a part of the TPP. Since no feasible measure to incorporate the PRC within the envisioned framework of Asia-Pacific reorientation were afforded. Obama administration place on the TPP is evident from how it was presented by the Office of the United States Trade Representative. The agency declared it the cornerstone of the Obama administration economic policy in the Asia-Pacific. The aim of a free trade partnership were to bring most import tariff on trade within the group to zero over a 10-year period, boosting an extended scope compared to prior trade deals due to the addition of service, intellectual property, investment, and state-owned enterprise within the framework. In 2013, Xi Jinping announced One Belt, One Road initiative, an infrastructure project comprising the Silk Road Economic Belt and the Maritime Silk Road. The Silk Road project, known as Belt and Road Initiative, might have been one such countermeasure proposed in response to the TPP. China remained on the outskirts of the TPP since membership would entail adhering to rules necessitating concession in the scope of the state control of the market.
Under Trump, the relation between US and China is becoming worse because Trump keep provoking China with some issue. And as we can see, Trump just like hating China so much and give influence to the other government at US.
In conclusion, for the relation between United States and China under President Obama is the Obama administration present a vision of America's future as the most influential power in the Asia-Pacific, where the region institutional framework more closely aligned with the American rather than China's interests. By increasing American influence in the Asia-Pacific region through a combination of diplomatic, military, and economic means, the idea was to engender a situation where China would have to reform and liberalize in order to accommodate the American-led regional framework, or remain on the outskirts of it and witness economic decline through increased isolation. To this end, the TPP, the administration's self-declared cornerstone of Asia-Pacific economic policy, was crucial both for the continuation of economic globalization and for the deterrence of China. But United States engagement with China was too thin in comparison to the stronger measure of deterrence. Inadvertently, Obama Asia policy brought an end to the feasibility of Sino-American engagement aimed at integrating China within the U.S.-led international order. China became competitor rather than the partner to the U.S., as it sought to further its own interests by creating institutions and partnerships through which it could carry influence independent of the United States, an American vision of the Asia-Pacific region framework, and by pursuing increasingly assertive policy in the South and East China Seas. That's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.